Hello and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I would like to welcome you guys to episode 10. Yay, 10! um, so, I'm recording a little bit later than usual. I got on a 6:40 flight from Indy to Albuquerque. I got in Albuquerque 9:30 Mountain Time. And so as a result, I think this entire day was very, very lazy. But I realized that I should record quick before I forgot and it was too dark. So I spent a lot of time reading a book and pondering whether or not to take a nap. Nap did not succeed. So I am coffee in hand and raring to go. I think to start off this episode, this might be a little scatterbrained. So to start off, I would like to thank everyone who voted for the hand-spun shawl patterns. The faraway winner was 28's Big Sister 77. So I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes and probably a picture of, or probably also a link to the projects. So looking forward to that. So it's going to be very simple and it's going to really let the yarn shine. So thanks everyone for voting and helping me with my indecisiveness. The other thing that I wanted to do, so I decided before I started to draw for the winner of the beginner spinning kit. So Celeste gave me this kit and knitting, and so it has this nice little bag. It has a spindle with some beginning yarn spun on it, and then it has these two nests of fiber. So there's the brown one and then the white one. And the quality of the fiber is really high, and I would like to congratulate the lucky winner. So I random number generator from 2 to 4 and post number 3-1. So so LMECOLL, aka Linda, congratulations, you won! Hurrah! So I'm gonna ask that you send me a private message with your real name and address so that I can get that mailed off to you, along with my grandmother's shawl. I really need to go to the post office. But I will this week because I've already written my grandmother a note. So get back to me and then I will be sending that out as soon as possible. So hurrah, winner! So thanks for everyone who entered. I think the short story is, from what I've heard from people, the startup cost for spindling is pretty low. So you might be paying maybe $20 for a 3 to 4 ounce spindle, and then you want to probably have a pound of fiber. Not all the same fiber. Pick something beautiful, pick something that has excellent prep. And how can you tell if something has excellent prep? Let's see. I guess the easiest way, would be if you could hold it in your hot little hands. It would be the case where if you can hold on to it, it would be something where what you do is you're looking at the fiber and you're holding it apart and getting a sense for how things are sliding against each other. You're looking at it and seeing whether or not there are neps or inconsistencies or vegetable matter, because who really wants to deal with that crap? That's why things are combed, so there's not anything in the fiber. It's a bit more divorced from the sheep. And just pick something in colors that inspire you. And I'm sure that you'll end up finding something that'll work for you. For example, this was fiber that I had picked up at the local yarn shop. So I would say, what is it? Maybe buy from a brand you trust, for example. So if you really like Swoosh yarn, then maybe you buy fiber from Swoosh or something like that. Or if you are looking for something that's maybe widely available, widely commercially available, Lorna's Laces, Mountain Colors are two that come to mind that were stocked in my local yarn shop, which is by no means a spin shop. I would stay away from things that are really cheap. So just maybe say that for 4 ounces, something between $10 to $16 is going to be okay. If it's much cheaper than that, I'm not sure. But yeah, so with those things, so for maybe somewhere between, I don't know, $100 or $80 and $100, you can figure out if you like it. And it might take a little bit of practice to get used to, what is it, the thing about, like, A, don't be worried if your spindle drops. I drop my spindle all the time. B, what is it? Don't be afraid to hold your hands farther apart. Because when you're really close together, you can't get the fibers to slide relative to each other, so that makes it way harder. You don't want to, so you want to be as far as the staple length is, and you can pull a tuft off your fiber and figure out how long it's going to be. I would say, what is it? Like, so something like this length here is fairly typical. And then if you really don't want to make really thick yarn at the beginning, remember that, so you have one finger which is preventing twist from entering into your chunk of fiber that you're spinning, and then the other hand is pulling out. And you want the region where things are, you want this middle region to be transparent, like right before your controlling fingers. So just, so when it gets a little bit see-through, then you know that you've gotten things teased out enough that they will form yarn. You can go too far, but I would say the epiphany for me was getting it to that transparent stage. So, good luck. I hope that for the people who entered who did not win, that they are still interested in trying. It's nothing like knitting, but it is a, what would you say? Spinning is nothing like knitting, but it is another task where repetitive motions result in a greater whole, and then you can knit with it. So, that is my brief beginner spinner interlude for Molly, who does not understand much about spinning, just a little bit. Okay. So, I spent most of the weekend rock climbing in Kentucky. Ended up going on a trip with a friend, my father-in-law, and my husband. So they were all very good company. We climbed many things. We got 2 days of good climbing, with a half day of rain, dreadfulness in between. Like, what was it? It was something like, we were outside and it was starting to get cloudy and there was like some rumbles of thunder and stuff like that, and then it started to rain lightly, and like I'm standing out in the rain being like, rain, because I've been living in the desert and I like rain. And then the skies opened up, and for a good hour it was just pouring. So Saturday afternoon was a wash, but Friday afternoon was fantastic, and all of Sunday was wonderful, and Saturday morning was a joy. And considering there was supposed to be 50 to 70% chance of rain all weekend, I think having only a small portion of it being a bit lame is fine. I got to talk to climbers are really friendly folks. So you get to find out about all sorts of crazy things from climbers. So it was interesting and good fun. And I sort of wish the trip hadn't ended so soon, but what can you do? Oh well. The plane tickets were monstrously cheaper to come back early. And I sort of needed a day to recover anyways. So, with that said, I only have one thing on my needles right now. So, let's see. Yesterday, I finished this sock. So this is the Ashton window sock, which is a pattern by Karen Martner-Kepner. And it is out of Literally Things Vesper in the Sweetwater colorway. And it's charming. I actually haven't even put it on yet. I'm living dangerous. Here, I'll just put it on quickly. Who needs sock blockers when you have feet? I probably actually would wear this on the other foot, but so sock. It looks like a good length. Oh, I totally put this on the wrong foot, so you can't see the fetching pattern. Maybe no. I can be flexible, but not that flexible. So, first sock done. I Kitchenered it up, sitting, like, waiting to climb. But I'd have to say my climbing trips are excellent knitting opportunities, because I'm like wicked sore, don't get me wrong. But the funny thing is that there's a lot of sitting around and waiting. There'll be other climbers might be on the route you want to climb, or someone needs to set up the rope, or someone's climbing it right now and you have to wait your turn. Sometimes you don't feel like climbing it right now and you can wait because it's okay. So I got, 4 climbs in on Saturday. I got 2 and a bit on Friday, and I got 3 on Sunday. So for spending 8 hours every day, well, there wasn't probably 8 hours on Friday, but say 8 hours, there's a lot of time where not much is going on, and it's an excellent time to knit. So I cast on Sunday afternoon, as soon as I had Kitchenered the toe, and let's see, I was probably about to here by the time we had finished climbing on Sunday. I got to, probably about here on the drive from Kentucky back to Indiana. and then I turned the heel and started on the gusset on the plane ride. So, this is 24 hours of sock when I don't have much to do. It might take me the better part of a week to finish it. But it definitely was coming on. So within a 24-hour period, I've knit this much sock. I haven't had a lot to do. I didn't even touch the sock once I got home. Oh, so I have this bent paper clip. Oh, let's see. How can I show it? Put it in front of my face. Put it in front of my hand. Hand. Back of hand. No. Whatever. So I have this bent paper clip that I'm using as a cable needle. That is mostly because the cable twist that I'm making is a little sprung for me not to have a cable needle. I've done like a little bit of cabling without a cable needle, and really the only thing that I like to do without a cable needle is like a right twist, so whatever. And this is how much yarn I have left, so it's definitely hollowing out. It turned out that the toe ended in blue, which meant that there was very little waste in making the socks matchy-matchy, so that was exciting. And I'll probably have a decent amount of leftovers when I'm done with this. So, not too shabby. I'm probably actually going to be starting socks for my husband, because of my sock exhaustion problem, or just too many socks, but I still like to knit socks, so. And I'm actually wearing the prototypes today, so my plan is to knit him hexagons. So these are the hexagon socks by Kristen Hall, I believe. I might have to I have the book out. So so this is from the book Think Outside the Socks. Yes, and it is Kirsten Hall. And so this is what they look like. Actually, it's not. It's the cover. The cover of Think Outside the Socks also has hexagons. So, and the cover shows the two different variations. So this top one is the ribby one, and the bottom one is the smooth one. And I think I feel comfortable making him the smooth ones. I was wondering whether or not I need to make them extra stretchy, and I had him try them on at various stages before I closed the toe, and they seemed like all systems go, things were gonna fit. And I don't think, like, he has really skinny legs. So knitting him a 64-6 sock and just making sure the gusset is nice and big is generally good enough. So I think I'm going to do the flat ones instead of the crazy ones. And so the bottom of this is comprised of the flat hexagons. So I just think it makes for a prettier hexagon than the ribby hexagons here. Whatever. So I already have yarn for it. I brought it with me. It's just a matter of finishing those socks. I'll get started on those. Since I did have a lot of knitting time, I did manage to get a finished object. And unfortunately, it's been crumpled in my backpack. So excuse the wrinkles. I have not gotten the, what is it? I haven't felt motivated enough to wash and block anything today, and I have ends to weave in and all that other stuff. But the knitting is complete. So this is the rainbow shawl. It is Daybreak by Stephen West. It has leaves on it, so I took pictures of it out on the cliff. So I had finished this Friday afternoon, and I actually haven't even looked to see what it looks like on me. So, planning, I have not. So this is what we have. I'm gonna wash and block it, so I might end up showing it again. But this is what it is in its finished state. So I decided to do 2 repeats in the border region. And as I ended up doing the surprisingly stretchy bind off because the normal bind off was really tight and I didn't have other needles with me. So one end of the cast off is orange and one end is red, but it's really, really hard to tell, and there really wasn't much that I could do about that. So I made it match as much as I could. This is what I have as leftover, so I ended up winding this into a ball. So this is about 10 grams of the Malabrigo lace in the azure colorway, and this is 28 grams of the Shawl wool lace ball in the rainbow colorway. So I have a little bit less than an entire color repeat here. So the red that's showing here is what was in the very inside of the ball. Had I been anal, I suppose I could have scavenged some of it in order to have an entirely red bind off, but I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm just happy. Happy with my ridiculous shawl. And it definitely turned out very crescent. Like, I'm not planning on trying to block this like a half circle. Like, you can tell them right then. This is not a half circle, this is a crescent for sure. A pretty ridiculously wide crescent. So I'm excited. I have my rainbow shawl, which is exciting. Aside from having to have a little bit of the bind off in a different color, that was really the only issue that I had. So, not too bad. So, size 2 needles, and I'll be washing and blocking this week, and you'll be able to see it in its full glory. And I've already pulled this out, but I suppose I can talk about the spinning that I've done this week. So this is the Gnomespun in the Gnomespun Shetland top in the Sapphire Surprise colorway. This is the last third, and I did do some spinning on it. I don't really remember what day of the week. Because I wasn't around this weekend, I didn't end up bringing with me. My backpack is incredibly full. There was no way that I could have brought the spinning, even if I wanted to. So there is still much spinning to be had. There's still a pretty big ball left of this. But it's coming along. I'll probably spin on it a little bit tonight. We'll see how it goes. I'm still working on weaving in the ends of the sweater too. I probably just need to sit down with another podcast and just finish it. So no, I'm not done spinning the yarn yet for the shawl, but I'm only holding myself accountable. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do exactly, but I do want to get this wound. and I will need to have a Swift to wind this, because, well, it's an ordeal simply, like it's an ordeal with a well put together Swift and ball winder combination to wind 300 grams of wool mycelium. So I'm probably going to be visiting the yarn shop at some point this week and taking care of that. Because that's not something that you, it's not something that you want to wind by hand. And I've wound a couple of balls of, well, I've wound at least 2 balls of wool mycelium, and it's just, don't do it. Bad idea. Pay someone to wind it for you. So, yeah, I think that is everything this week. So on that, my friend Anna made a really good suggestion. So she had Simplicity in her queue for quite some time, and I've been intending to knit Simplicity ever since I bought that lace. I would like to have a Simplicity cowl if any of you guys are interested in joining. Simplicity is a pattern by Mary Annarella, and she is a very thoughtful and careful designer. I had, earlier this summer, I had made one of her patterns, and I was really impressed with everything that came as a part of the pattern to make it fit me perfectly. So I'm looking forward to the same sort of thing with with Simplicity. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in joining us, it could just be a cowl with Anna and I, or it could be a cowl with more people. I don't. Since it is a lace weight sweater, you sort of need a little bit of motivation sometimes to get through that. Because while it isn't a lace project done on fine needles like this, it's still, at some point the stitch count gets up and you start to feel a little sad. So I'm going to say the cowl starts as soon as possible. So, let's say that this is going to run through September, October, and November. I'm just coming up with these numbers off the top of my head. I'm hoping it doesn't take more than 2 months to knit, but who knows. I will be spending a lot of time in the lab this week, so it might turn out that I do need to wind my wool mycelium by hand. We'll see. I hope not. So, I'd like to thank you for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.